Well, welcome to the 700 Club with Election Day just 11 days away. Both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are off to battleground states, Ohio and North Carolina. In the middle of all that, Mike Pence still grabbed the headlines last night. Mark Martin tells us what happened.
We have an emergency in the airport.
Republican vice presidential candidate Mike Pence's campaign plane had a bumpy and scary landing late Thursday night during a rainstorm at New York's LaGuardia Airport. None of the more than 30 people on board were injured when the plane skidded off the runway after landing in heavy rain, but the airport was closed down for a while.
Pretty close to grave danger, but I just spoke to Mike Pence, and he's fine.
In the key swing state of Ohio, Donald Trump spoke out against Hillary and Bill Clinton, accusing them of corruption.
They didn't create anything, produce anything, invent anything. All they did was sell favors, sell access, and sell out the American worker.
In a new WikiLeaks release, hacked emails show how a top aide, Doug Band, to Bill Clinton raised money for the Clinton Foundation from big businesses and lined up speeches and consulting contracts for Bill Clinton. It all led to millions of dollars in income. Band called it Bill Clinton Incorporated. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton campaigned in another important swing state, North Carolina, joined by First Lady Michelle Obama.
I couldn't think of a better place to come back to with another woman whose voice we need now more than ever. Hillary doesn't play. She has more experience and exposure to the presidency than any candidate in our lifetime.
As far as the media coverage of the presidential race, a new Associated Press GFK poll shows most Americans, 56%, agree with Donald Trump and say the media is biased against the Republican presidential candidate. 87% of Trump supporters believe the media is biased against their candidate, and 30% of Clinton supporters agree. Mark Martin, CBN News.
In 11 days, it will all be over. I hope you're registered to vote, and I hope you're planning to vote. In other news, city councils across the country are declaring their dependence on God. John Jessup has that story.
Gordon, more than 600 cities are voting to put the motto "In God We Trust" in city plaques and decals. Chesapeake, Virginia is one of them. CBN News spoke with Virginia Congressman Randy Forbes, a Republican who represents Chesapeake in the House of Representatives. He believes the motto can bring unity to a divided nation.
Chesapeake City Council decided to do what many other city councils have done across the country. They're now the 611th city council across the country. In the last 2 years alone, we're excited the Congressional Prayer Caucus Foundation has gotten up over 1.6 million In God We Trust plaques or stickers across the country. 356 first responders in 26 different states putting it on all their vehicles. 34 states have adopted a similar resolution. We had Republicans and Democrats and people across party lines coming together and saying, this can unite us and this is something that's important for the country.
While some residents are critical of the motto, others are supportive. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte says he's made a promise to God to stop swearing. Duterte has used some strong words in his public statements in the past, but explained while he was flying home from a state visit to Japan, he was looking at the sky while everyone was sound asleep when he says he heard a voice. He offered this account of what it said.
If you don't stop, if that's, I will bring this plane down now. And I said, who is this? So of course it's God.
Duterte pledged that he plans to live up to his promise. Well, get this, a stone slab believed to have once held the body of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion is being unveiled for the first time in centuries. Experts are now renovating the tomb, which is housed in Jerusalem's Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Historians once believed the tomb was destroyed, but modern technology revealed the slab was intact. The 4th century church is considered to be one of the most revered sites in Christianity. Some also believe it is the location where the crucifixion took place. Well, on the same day UNESCO essentially denied any Jewish connection to the Temple Mount, a newly discovered piece of history revealed the links of Jerusalem to the Jewish people going as far back as 2,700 years ago. Chris Mitchell brings us that story.
The small papyrus document contains the earliest mention of Jerusalem ever found outside of the Bible.
Prior to this, there were only 2 other papyrus written in Hebrew found from this period at all. And perhaps the greater significance is that for the first time we have in Hebrew the name Jerusalem.
Both the style of the script and the carbon-14 analysis dated the artifact back to the first Jewish temple period in the 7th century BC. It says, from the king's maidservant, from Na'arat, jars of wine, to Jerusalem.
The document is a shipment certificate from a place called Na'aran. We mention that 2 jars of wine are going to be shipped from Na'aran to Jerusalem.
A unit from the Israel Antiquities Authority seized the fragment from Palestinian looters excavating without a license.
We understood that we have something very, very important in our hand. We read it and we understood its value.
Eitan Klein said they had taken it from the same area where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found decades ago.
Until today, only in the Judean desert have scrolls been found, because the conditions in the Judean desert are probably the best for this organic material.
Curator Panina Shore says it's not that other writings didn't exist, but these survived because of the dry climate.
This particular papyrus is actually a miracle, because here we're talking about a papyrus from First Temple times.
Scroll researcher Oren Abelman says the Jewish connection to Jerusalem is clear.
This is a period that we know from various historical accounts, both from the Bible and from external sources, that there was the kingdom of Judea at this period.
In addition to the Jerusalem connection, Shore says if the reading is correct, there's also a new understanding of the role of women.
And if it's Amat HaMelech, that's the slave, the woman officer or slave of the king. So not only are we talking about Jerusalem, we're also talking about women who are in high office.
As for the UNESCO vote, experts agreed it wasn't based on facts.
It's a political decision. It has nothing to do with reality.
It has no meaning whatsoever for archaeologists or historians.
I'm an archaeologist. I just explained in length all the reasons why this papyrus is so very important and why it is dated to the First Temple times.
Abelman said it's not only an important find for Jewish history, but also for development of the world. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Thanks, Chris. And Gordon, the Israel Antiquities Authority says that this could have been from one of several Old Testament kings, including King Amon or King Josiah.
Well, it does show that archaeology proves the Jewish connection to Jerusalem. And keep in mind that UNESCO vote that happened this week, how important that is. That's essentially aligning the United Nations against the state of Israel, and specifically against the Jewish people and their claim to the city of Jerusalem. That is significant, and how that will play out over time. You read the prophecies of how all the nations of the world are going to gather against Jerusalem. Well, that's the setup for it. When you start seeing the UN pass these kinds of resolutions saying there is no Jewish tie to Jerusalem, it's dead set against history, it's dead set against archaeology, dead set against what's written in the Bible. But that's what's happening, and it's happening today.